The Brandenburg shock. Green-left intrigue against AfD candidates fails spectacularly. The attempt to stop the AfD and its bourgeois allies in the mayoral elections in Brandenburg has not only failed, it has failed spectacularly. The citizens have given the self-proclaimed Democrats a resounding slap in the face and voted overwhelmingly for change. The shock in the party headquarters of SPD, CDU and the left is profound. Their candidates have been humiliated. Their strategy of exclusion lies in ruins. What exactly happened in Brandenburg that will change the political landscape forever? To understand the full explosive dimension of this failure, we must look at the Rheinsberg case. It is a model case, a warning sign. There, the incumbent mayor, Frank Rudi Schwochow, ran for re-election. A man who was subjected to disciplinary proceedings. A man whom the establishment wanted to overthrow. SPD and CDU put up their own candidates against him who had no chance. The AfD, on the other hand, did not. They supported Schwochow, a politician of the regional party BVB, Free Voters. The result was a triumph, a revolution with an overwhelming two-thirds majority of 65.2% confirmed Schwochow in office. The intrigue of the established parties has not only failed, it has turned into its opposite and forged a new bourgeois alliance, Rheinsberg, a picturesque town in Brandenburg. The 38-year-old incumbent Frank Rudi Schwochow was the target of a concerted attack by the establishment. He had been subjected to disciplinary proceedings. Attempts had been made to wear him down and discredit him. SPD and CDU, the parties of the old power, sent their own candidates into the race to overthrow him. But they had not reckoned with the will of the people, and they had not reckoned with the strategic cleverness of the AfD. The AfD did not put up its own candidate. They recognized that Schwochow, who like them stood for citizen-oriented, sensible politics, was the better candidate. They supported him. The result was a landslide victory, a triumph. Frank Rudi Schwochow received 65.2% of the votes, almost two-thirds. The SPD candidate was humiliated, 8.6%. The CDU candidate was punished, 12.7%. Both declared their result to be devastating. They hadn't understood. They hadn't understood that the time of party book democracy is over. Even the independent candidate of the left, who came in second with 13.5%, didn't understand it. He spoke of a pitch-black day and rhetorically excluded the election winner, Schwochow, from the circle of the three democratic candidates. An outrageous presumption. A man who was elected by two-thirds of the population is branded as undemocratic by the loser, elected with 13%. It is the arrogance of power that experienced its ultimate defeat in Rheinsberg that evening. Rheinsberg is not divided, was the conclusion of the triumphant election winner. He was right. Rheinsberg is united against the intrigues and patronizing behavior of the established parties. The triumph of Rheinsberg was not an isolated case. On that Sunday, a blue wave rolled across Brandenburg. In two other important cities, the AfD is on the verge of a historic takeover. The intrigue of the Green Left has also failed here, Oranienburg. In the district town of the Oberhavel district, a town with about 50,000 inhabitants, the AfD candidate scored 28% in the first ballot from a standing start. A sensational result. Her SPD opponent is far behind with 19%. The previous incumbent Alexander Lesaik, a political turncoat who was first with the SPD and then with the Greens, landed humiliated in fifth place. The AfD goes into the runoff election as a clear favorite. Eisenhüttenstadt, the former socialist residential city, a symbol of the old GDR, has decided on the future. 38% of voters voted for the AfD man Mike Dippold. He too goes into the runoff election against the SPD candidate as a huge favorite. In two other cities, Nute-Urstromtal and an unnamed municipality, the AfD candidates failed. But the overall picture is clear. The AfD is on the rise in Brandenburg. It has established itself as the leading municipal force, and the Greens, the party that presents itself as the great moral authority. They didn't even put up a single candidate anywhere on this historic election day. They talk about democracy, but they shy away from democratic competition. The intrigue to stop the AfD through exclusion and demonization has failed spectacularly. The citizens will no longer be fooled. They vote for the party that takes their concerns seriously. And that is happening more and more often in Brandenburg, the AfD. What do you think? Why is the AfD so successful, especially in the East? Is it due to the GDR past or the current problems? The elections in Brandenburg reveal a new, highly intelligent strategy of the AfD. It does not remain in opposition. It actively breaks out of the isolation that the established parties want to impose on it. Even apart from its own party members, the AfD is increasingly influencing municipal election officials and the support of allies. As in Rheinsberg, the party specifically supports mayoral candidates from other bourgeois parties, such as the Free Voters or independent candidates who represent similar interests. It thus proves that it is not about the party book, but about the cause. It is forging bourgeois alliances beyond the firewall. The nomination of non-party members. As in Bad Freienwalde, the party also nominates non-party candidates who enter the runoff election on its ticket. It opens itself up to personalities from civil society and proves that it is not a closed, sectarian group. This strategy is ingenious. It makes it increasingly difficult for the established parties to portray the AfD as undemocratic and isolated. It shows voters that the AfD is capable of cooperation and wants to be part of a larger bourgeois camp. The firewall is not torn down from above, but undermined from below at the municipal level and brought to collapse. The AfD has so far only one full-time mayor in Ragun-Jesnitz and one district administrator in Sonneberg nationwide. But the elections in Brandenburg show that this is only the beginning. The blue wave is rolling and it will change the political map in Germany forever. The elections in Brandenburg are a shock for the political establishment in Port and Berlin. They are proof that their strategy of exclusion and demonization has not only failed, but has turned into its opposite. Every attempt to fight the AfD or its allies only seems to make them stronger. The intrigue against Frank Rudi Schwochow in Rheinsberg led to his triumphal victory. The firewall in Oranienburg and Eisenhüttenstadt has led to the fact that the AfD is now on the verge of taking power. The reactions of the losers are a testament to poverty. Instead of analyzing the result and recognizing their own mistakes, they resort to helpless insults. The left-wing candidate in Rheinsberg excludes the democratically elected winner from the circle of democratic candidates. It is the arrogance of the powerless who do not want to understand that their time is up. The intrigue of the Green left has failed spectacularly. It has not stopped the AfD. It has only made their own helplessness and their anti-democratic attitude visible to all. Brandenburg delivered a clear verdict on this Sunday. A verdict against paternalism, against exclusion, against the arrogance of the established parties, and a verdict for a new bourgeois patriotic policy. The shock is profound and it is salutary. It is the wake-up call that this country needed. Yeah.